Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our suit reviews. Now this is Pearl Perfect by Baroque. It's done by a company called Rani Trends. It's been replicated by them. The original is by Baroque. Now I've done a couple of reviews on this suit, and I've also stitched. The first one that I stitched was my own. Now I've done this for a customer. There's a slight bit of a variation which I'm going to show you. Now this is a very pretty suit, and in Islam they say that you should share and you should give, or you should try and at least sell, whichever is the case. To others what you like for yourself. This is one suit that I did love for myself, and I would highly recommend to others as well. Now this is the second edition of the same suit, and compared to the first one that we did, we had a couple of flaws in this, which doesn't prevent you from creating the same beautiful creation, providing you're willing to put a little bit effort into it. Now what you've got to remember is these suits are replicas, and as replicas they will have slight bit of variation and slight bit of flaws as well. The point is that if you're making such a huge amount of saving on price difference, then you've got to give something, and sometimes it's the quality of the fabric, sometimes it's the quality of the embroidery, and sometimes there may be little bits of flaws. Now like I mentioned, there are several replicates available as well. There's lots of different companies who replicate the same stuff, and some will manufacture it to a little bit higher standard than others. Now the first ones, I don't like to compromise on like cut the price and get the very cheap quality. I'd like to sort of stay in the middle. Sometimes you're not presented with a choice. Sometimes the demand is high, but the manufacturing has stopped, or it's an end of line for something, and then you go to an alternative source. So basically that's what happened. The originals that I sold were of a very high quality, and now second time around these came, and there was a slight bit of a few problems with these. One, compared to the photo, there was a slight color variation, which actually is far prettier than the previous one. So the color combination, where it was lilac in the other one, is much of a rose pink shade in this. Okay, so secondly, I mean, there were some good points too, but one of the disappointing facts with these suits, and these are last couple that I've got left now, otherwise we've run out of these, and I wouldn't like to repeat them. Now one of the main problems with this suit, and this has been a problem with a few of the others, actually this one's okay. Funnily enough, I thought it was a problem with all of them. Well, it's a problem with the bottom border. You know, the interfacing that they've used, it's actually still on, and with the suit that I've just stitched, it was actually all along these seams as well. So everywhere it was like a really thick backing, which we had to remove, which alhamdulillah we did remove, and it wasn't hard to remove. You just need a little bit of extra time. Now that was the bad thing about it. The good point is that whereas the other dupattas just had the trim, with these dupattas there is full lace on all the way around the, so there's a bonus, there's a plus and a negative. Luckily, the suits that I've got left now, I think I've just got two remaining ones left, and they're perfectly fine. They have only got the backing slightly on the bottom border, which is easily, I think somebody made a comment on that it's a shame that it's not a soluble backing. Often it's like a paper type backing, or a interfacing type of backing, which you can actually just tear away. Now with this one we did tear it away, and then I just gave it a rinse, and the remaining bits, they just came away as well. So once you remove the backing, it actually gives a very good result. So there's a dupatta fully edged. Now what I've done with this suit is I've sewn it slightly different to the way I did my own. I think I put extra effort into mine, whereas I'd put pearls and all sorts. Now, you're only going to do so much when it's customer suits. Perhaps when you're doing them for yourself, then you sort of go overboard. This is one of the beauties of sewing yourself, that there's no expense, no time barred. You put the full 100% effort into, and it's your own. Now obviously when you're doing it as a job, then you have to consider all facts, and time is one of the crucial facts, that you cannot give it so much time that you end up, like they say, time is money. There's somebody upstairs. Yeah, just give it this to her. Just take £2. So time is money. You can't afford to spend so much time on doing something that you end up losing out on, making. And this is one of the things with tailoring, that people often do not value how much time it takes to actually stitch a good quality suit. Okay, so what I've done with this suit is I've used Banarsi to trim the sides, and I've also used Banarsi to sort of inlay the front of the sleeve. I did take certain parts apart and redid them, and now with my own, if you remember when I stitched my own, one of the sleeves were missing, and also it was a lot paler color. This is the original sleeve that came, is fully embroidered with metallic thread, but with metallic thread you just have to be very careful that it doesn't itch. So I've fully lined this so that it doesn't go through the seams, because metallic thread like this can be very irritating and it can itch you. So you know what, sewn nicely, these suits are just absolutely beautiful. I love them. The color combination, the quality of embroidery is perfect. Slight bit of a shading. Okay, so it's a simpler suit, not as fancy done as my own. It's a shorter kameez, and I've done this with straight pants, and it's I am pleased with the result. It's very pretty, and I would highly recommend the final two to be grabbed up, because these are suits which will not be repeated. So come the final two, then they're basically finished. So if you've not ordered one, then make sure to order yours. And if you want, I do have the silk Banarsi trim, so you can order that with it. Okay, so this is one of the suits. Now I'm going to share another one with you, and that's also by Baroque. These are from Baroque's volume 2. Okay, and we have got volume 3 and volume 4, although volume 4 was a little bit skeptical. I wasn't too convinced that was volume 4. Okay, now I couldn't find the picture with this one. I don't know what I've done with it, but this is from volume 2. If you really fancy, I haven't got any more of these left, unfortunately. I've sold the last few. This one I've stitched, it looks like very plain, but it's got a very good quality embroidery. I unpicked the center panels and I've restitched it all the way perfectly. Now what I've done with this suit, and if you've purchased this, so whether you purchased it through me or whether you've purchased it through any of the other suppliers, what I've done with this basically is there's generally what they give you is embroidery for the front only. Now I'm not keen on having the front embroidery and then the back plain. So what I've done is I took away the embroidery of the sleeves, and I had to put 2 joints in it, and I've combined it, and I've finished this off front and back, and then I've just trimmed it off in the white color dory. And then I've taken off the lace from the dupatta. Now there was already lace on the front of the daman, but what I've done is I took it off the dupatta and I've used it on the back as well. And the sleeves, I've also used it on the sleeves, and I've used an additional color type of lace just to finish this off at the front. So and then slightly lengthened the sleeves as well, because originally it was this lace that was on in front of the sleeves. So I've taken that away, and I've finished this off with front and back, which actually gives it a beautiful look. So this one's for my daughter-in-law, She's a crazy person about blacks. She won't wear any other color but black. So yet again, we've chosen a black. It's either navies or blacks. Anyway, that's hers. And then we had a choice. We had a bit of a conflict on whether to make this one or this one. And I have cut this one as well. So I'm just gonna, that's partly stitched. So I'm just gonna quickly share that with you as well. If I can find what I've done with it. Okay, I've just partially stitched it, and that's just the caliche. I've not cut anything else yet. I've not cut no lining or nothing else. I'll probably make this one for Halima. She likes black as well, so another black addict. So I'm going to sort of stitch this for her, and I've taken in the caliche, and I've basically just stitched them back up and then just overlocked it. So this one has got a grey dupatta, and I think I've got one suit remaining in this design. So if you fancy the baroque volume 3, this is from volume 3. It's called Affaire de Carbone, very French name. What they've done is tight-fitting trousers, and it's a fairly loose type of a camise, but Alima normally likes them fitted, so I'll probably just fit it out. Now, compared to this again is a replicated design, which I had to reorder because I ran out of the originals. If you remember me mentioning, on the originals there was a slight bit of a variation, although even with the photos I think there is a slight bit of a difference, because this one has got the plain sleeves. So it depends on maybe the companies who manufactured it. This is a different company to, okay, so this one's design number 9004, although that's not what Baroque names it as. Anyway, these are just a little bit of Eid previews. Inshallah, I shall now finish my final little bits and bats and hopefully join you for a final little preview just prior to Eid. Anyway, take care, and I will speak to you soon.